Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Got 4 games in the NBA on Tuesday here. No bets officially down on my card yet, but I want to take you through the looks that I have for today to help you get those bets down for yourself as well. Do not have time to go through how we did on Monday, but it wasn't good. Trust me, lost about 3 units on the day there. I am on a huge time crunch though, so let's go ahead and get right into what I've got here for Tuesday. As always, going to be using Props Madness here on the show, the #1 NBA sports betting research tool without question. Nice one-stop shop for you for everything that you need to find the best value. If you do want to jump in, get a 7-day free trial using code LYB. See if you like it and test it out first, or just go ahead and use code LYB to get yourself 25% off that first month using Props Madness. And we always use this. You know that by now, but happy to answer any questions if you got them in the comments. Kicking it off with the Hawks and the Hornets here. And this is a game that was just played a few days ago here. These two teams played on March 12th, and we saw the Hornets there lost by 13 to the Hawks in that one. And as we come back to this game here, a couple things you should know. Tre Mann is actually back for the Hornets, so we're finally going to see Tre Mann back on the floor. Not sure how that's going to impact things too much, but I do think we can get an under here on Josh Green at 8.5 points. Thought this might get up to 9.5. It actually looks like it got bet down from 9.5 down to 8.5, which makes sense when you think about the fact that Josh Green is a 3-point shooter. Mostly, like all of his shots are corner threes. That's basically all he does. And so if you have a number that's divisible by 3 there and you go under, right, like it's 9 points for 3 threes. So I think that 8.5 is smart to go under on 9, but I'm actually happy to go under on 8.5 as well for Josh Green. He's at 7.4 on the season. He's got Tre Mann coming back now, which will only eat into his shot attempts. And if you look at his shot attempts by pulling up these advanced filters here and pulling up field goal attempts on the season, you can see that on the season, he's at 6.5 total, right? So let's say that he's around his average today against the Hawks here. And we give him, let's say, 5 to 9 shots, which is pretty generous. 5 to 9 shots there, considering that he's taking 6.5 on average. Don't really expect him to take 9, but let's say that we give him a range up to 9. Well, on the season as a whole, in all these games that he's played, 30 games, 7.8 points, where he's taken 5 to 9 field goal attempts, which is what I project him for here. Not getting 9 points, not getting 8 points, 7.8 per game, under the 9 in 18 of 30 games that he's going under, right? Not a very good hit rate for the over. So love an under on Josh Green. I mean, he's going to probably have an easy matchup. It'll probably be Trae Young guarding him. This is not a good defense. There's really nothing here except for Josh Green's not a 9-point per game scorer. So if you give me the opportunity to go under, and you're telling me that there's other guys that are going to be getting more minutes like Tre Mann now to sort of eat into Josh Green's stuff, which, let's be fair, Josh Green's number is as high as it is because Miles Bridges is not playing in this game for Charlotte. Buried the lead a little bit there, but I still do not care, right? Like Miles Bridges being out there or not isn't necessarily going to mean that Josh Green's usage just goes up. If you want to see what I'm talking about, let's take the games that Miles Bridges has missed and look at Josh Green. He's still at 7.9. He had a few good games against a couple other teams, but you also see LaMelo Ball was missing in that one. LaMelo Ball was missing in that one. You see what I'm saying? So most of these without Bridges are also without LaMelo Ball. If you do without Bridges and with LaMelo, he's barely got any of those games, right? And he's still under in 5 of 7, averaging 4.7. Like, if anything, it's actually helpful for his points that LaMelo Ball is out there, but it doesn't matter, right? Like, he's not getting the shots that he needs to get to 9 points. So I love an under for Josh Green today. The other under is for Dyson Daniels on the boards, and going to give you an explanation on this one, right? What I like about Dyson Daniels under rebounds here is that it's who he's guarding. And that's what I try to tell everybody when we talk about props for rebounds. You need to know who the guys that you're taking props for are guarding, or who's guarding them, for instance, right? And in this one, Dyson Daniels is going to be guarding LaMelo Ball. So he's going to be guarding the guy that's shooting the whole time and the guy that's furthest away from the basket. So he's rarely, if ever, going to be in a good position to get a rebound. That's why his chances go down against this Hornets team and why his rebounds in general go down. So you look at him on the season, he's played this team 3 times. In the rebounds, he's never gotten 6, right? If you look at the rebound chances, 10, 8, and 2. And in this 2, he had 24 minutes. I would have to look closer into that one. I believe he might have a little bit of foul trouble. But either way, in these other 2, played a full slate of minutes, 31 and 34, and at most had 10 rebound chances, right? Whereas he has to guard LaMelo as he did here on March 12th the other day. I just want to make sure LaMelo was playing in that game too. I realized that I didn't guarantee that. Yeah, he was. So LaMelo was in that one. He did a pretty good job on LaMelo, but most importantly, he wasn't able to get the rebounds because he's completely out of position, right? On the season, if you look at his rebound chances, let's go back up to the boards and you pull up his rebound chances here. On the season, he's at about 10.1, right? If you look at this head-to-head with the rebound chances, 6.7 rebound chances per game against the Hornets. Again, the reason is he's guarding LaMelo Ball, so he is way out of position to get the boards. So I'm going to be fading Dyson Daniels on the rebounds and going under 5.5 here. As we scroll down to Nets and Celtics, go ahead and give this video a like if you're getting anything out of it. Much, much appreciated as we keep bringing you these plays each and every day. Going to be looking Nets Celtics here. Got to know if Jason Tatum's playing. He is questionable. Jaylen Brown is already ruled out. And other than that, that's really it. It's Cam Thomas out for the Nets. But other than that, we know Tatum's questionable. Everybody else is off the injury report. So KP, Derrick White, Drew Holiday, Al Horford, all those guys should be a go for the Celtics. Makes it kind of hard to bet on them. But here's what I'm looking at. I mean, I think we got to look at Derrick White points. I do think Kristaps is back in full, so we're going to have him playing full minutes. But if Tatum is out, 17.5 is a great look. And if Tatum is out, I'm probably looking at maybe just a whole PRA because I like the assists and I even like the boards here for Derrick White. He's scoring 20 points per game per 36 minutes when he's on the floor and Jaylen Brown is off the floor, right? If we look at the games that he's played without Jaylen Brown this season, pretty good hit rate as well, up to about 19 points per game, over the 17.5 here in 8 of 11 games that he's played without Jaylen Brown. He's going to be one of the biggest beneficiaries of Brown being out, is his usage going up and the ball being in his hands a lot more, which is why I like the points, but it's also why I'm happy to add the PRA. I think his minutes are going to have to stay high. If you look at the way that he scores as well, head-to-head stuff here against the Nets, if we go down, let's select the points here. If we go down and look at, obviously, this is his, he's a spot-up shooter. He's a guy that's waiting for the ball to come to him on that sort of around-the-horn passing that the Celtics do, and then he's going to put up that shot pretty often because he's one of the best, if not their best, three-point shooter outside of maybe like Peyton Pritchard. But he's going to be getting those minutes, a ton of them. And in this matchup where he's going to be off ball, especially if Tatum's out there, he's going to be off ball a ton. If Tatum is if Tatum is not in, then that's why I like adding the assists for Derrick White, because he'll be on ball a lot more without Tatum and already Brown listed out. That's going to make him more of a point guard and more susceptible to getting those passes rather than being the spot up shooter. He's going to pass to the spot up shooter. And you can see for the Nets, they are number one limiting points to the main ball handler in the pick and roll play. And I don't know that we'll see too much pick and roll anyway with Derrick White without Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown out there, but he will be the primary ball handler. And that's the key here, is that the primary ball handler tends to struggle against the Nets here as they blitz the ball handler and force the ball out of his hands into those spot up shooters where they give up a ton of points to the spot up. So that's all we got to wait on Derrick White. I like the points, but I need to see if Jason Tatum is out there, because if Tatum misses, then I got to go to the assist for D White over the points in this one. I got to skip over Bucks and Dubs because we don't have the injury report here for the Warriors. Not sure if Steph Curry's playing. So pretty hard to get a bet down on a team without knowing if all of their players are playing, but especially their best ones. So let's go to Cavs and Clippers. That'll close out the night here in LA. And the key here is that for the Cavs, we have a questionable tag on Evan Mobley. So we're not sure if he's playing. That's kind of limiting me from betting on the Cavs. I will quickly say, if you pull up the Cavs players and you just take Evan Mobley out and you say no Evan Mobley, games without Evan Mobley, everybody does better, like everywhere. Look, Donnie goes up by 5 points. We can look at Darius Garland. He goes up by a couple points per game based on like his average is 21 on the season. He's at 23.5 without Evan Mobley. Jared Allen, unsurprisingly, might be the biggest beneficiary, 17.5 points per game versus 13.7 on the season. Really nice over here. But all these numbers are a bit high if Evan Mobley plays. So that's what makes me nervous, is like, this is not a good matchup. The Clippers are a top defensive team in the league for sure. So it makes it tough. But I mean, every single person on the starting lineup, except for Max Strus, the three main guys, Donnie, Darius, and Jared Allen, those three guys get a ton more usage, more boards, they all go up in every category, points, rebounds, and assists, because Evan Mobley does a lot. So there's a lot to pick up and a lot of slack left over when he's not out there. That gets picked up predominantly by these three in terms of Mitchell, Garland, and Allen. So those are the three that I'm going to be targeting for overs if we see that Mobley is out. On the other side of the ball, regardless of what happens with Mobley, I got to go back to Zoo. We're still getting value on his boards. If you get 11.5 rebounds for Zubac, hell, this might drop down to 10.5. I don't care about the matchup. I know the Cavs are good at rebounding. I know that on the season, they're 10th best limiting rebounds. They're even 13th best limiting rebounds to centers. It's good. It's not like world beater good, right? Like Zoo can still get his against this team. He didn't play very many minutes against them last season when he played against them. It was the 27 minutes that he played, 15 rebound chances. This year, he's up to like 33.5 minutes, right? I believe on the season, he's at, let me get this out of here, 34.3 on the season, up 7 minutes per game from last year, where he wasn't really getting involved nearly as much. Now, the thing is, though, we have Norm Powell back, Kawhi Leonard, and we know that we're going to have James Harden, right? So when we have all those guys available, what happens to Zubac? So let's put them all on the floor here and say Norm's playing, Harden's playing, Kawhi's playing. And And we look at Zubac on the boards, and you can see he's averaging 14.2. So he's gone up in rebounds. If you look at the rebound chances, once again, we need to know how many are available to him to know how many he could potentially get. Well, he's at 24.2 rebound chances per game when he's playing with Kawhi, Norm, and Harden. He's at 20.8 on the season otherwise. So my point here is Zubac is looking to board. He's getting more rebounds per game when he's playing with other guys. So it's helpful here to make a bet because it's kind of counterintuitive to assume that a guy playing with Kawhi, with Norm, with better players is actually going to get more rebounds. Might seem counterintuitive, but it's because he's strictly focused on the rebounds, right? He doesn't need to worry about doing anything else. Barely has to worry about guarding, although he'll be in Allen's face. Allen's going to be close to the basket, as we know, and this is going to be a really good look for him with or without Evan Mobley. So I love the over on 11.5 boards here for Zubac on Tuesday night. That is all the time that I have for you in this one. Going to be back, as always, tonight with another episode. Appreciate your patience as we still nail down what's going to happen here with the live show. Just need to tweak a few things, add some stuff to it, and revamp a little bit here and there. But we will be back with the live starting next week at the very latest. I'll let you know if we come back this week any earlier. But going to be coming back with those episodes every night, so definitely recommend subbing to that channel so you don't miss any of the action. And until I see y'all next, happy betting.